Good morning and Happy New Year from Seoul. Thank you for joining us on this first day of the year 2024. And as we welcome the start of the new year, President Yoon will address the nation in a few minutes. We'll go live to the presidential office in Yoon'S, where his New Year's address will be delivered at 10 a.m. The president will speak for about 20 minutes, which is slightly longer than last year's speech. His message will be focused on people's livelihoods and the economy. The president will likely emphasize running a government that addresses issues and promptly takes action. You will also likely to call for a caring government that looks after people's livelihoods. And it seems like the speech has begun, so let's listen in.
재외동포 여러분, 푸른 용의회 갑진년 새해가 밝았습니다.
It is the new year, the year of the green wooden dragon. I wish you all a happy new year.
2024년 새해
Honorable citizens,
국민
in the
여러분께서는
new year of
어떤 소망을
2024,
품고
what did
첫
you wish
아침을
for when you were
맞으셨습니까?
welcoming the first morning of the
바라시는
year?
소망은 다 다르겠지만
I'm sure your wishes are all
작년보다 나은
different,
새해를
but I think we
꿈꾸는
all
마음은
have the same
모두
dream
같으리라
of a year
생각합니다.
that is better than last year.
저와 정부도
That
다르지
also holds
않습니다.
true for myself and our government.
우리 국민 모두의
In the new
삶이
year,
더
we will
나아지고
do our utmost so that the lives of our citizens are enhanced and also so that our country can take off again.
돌아보면
Looking back,
지난해는
the past,
무척 힘들고
2023, was a very difficult and challenging year.
나라 안팎의 경제
The economic
환경이
condition inside and
어려웠고
the outside of the country
지정학적
was
갈등도
difficult,
계속됐습니다.
and geopolitical conflicts continued.
고물가,
High interest rate, high inflation, and high oil prices slowed down our economic recovery, leading to struggles in the lives of our people.
국민 여러분,
I am sure
얼마나
that you
힘드셨습니까?
all faced hardships last year.
민생 현장에서
Every
국민
time I
여러분을
met
뵙고
our citizens in the
고충을
field
직접 보고
and
들을
heard
때마다
the grievances
대통령으로서
firsthand,
무거운
I felt a
책임감을
heavy sense
느꼈습니다.
of responsibility as a
민생을
president.
보살피고
I endeavored to the
경제를
best
살리기 위해
of my
할 수
ability
있는
to take
최선을
care
다했지만
of our
늘
people and to
부족하고
revive the economy,
송구스러운
but I
마음이었습니다.
always felt that it was not enough and
하지만
I was
이렇게
very sorry
힘든
about it.
상황 속에서도
But even in these
우리
difficult
국민
times,
여러분께서는
our citizens
더욱 힘을
strived
내주셨습니다.
hard.
지난 한 해
In the past year,
대부분의 국가들이
most
높은
countries
물가와
experienced
경기 퇴조의
stagflation, a
스태그플레이션을
period of high
겪었습니다.
prices and economic
특히
decline.
특정
In
국가
particular,
의존도가 심했던 나라,
Countries that were heavily
에너지
dependent on
전환
certain
정책에
other
실패한
countries, countries that failed in
그리고
energy
디지털
transition
심화
policies,
시대에
and
적응하지
countries that
못한
failed to
나라들의
adapt to
경제가
digitization
큰 어려움을
suffered
겪었습니다.
even more.
글로벌 복합
In
위기
the midst
가운데에서
of the complex global
우리나라가
crisis,
세계에서 가장
Korea has
빠른
been able
속도로
to rebound
재도약의
at one of the
발판을
fastest
마련할
rates
수 있었던
in the
것은
midst of the global
우리
crisis.
국민과
And this was all
기업인
thanks
여러분의
to
피땀
the
어린
hard work of our
노력
citizens
덕분이었습니다.
and the businesses.
정부를 믿고
I would like to once
함께
again
뛰어주신
express my
국민
gratitude
여러분,
to the citizens
그리고 기업인
and the
여러분께
businesses who
깊이
trusted the
감사드립니다.
government and worked together with us.
존경하는 국민 여러분,
Honorable citizens,
글로벌 복합 위기
in the
속에서
midst of the
우리
complex global
정부는
crises, our government has made every effort to put
모든
people's
노력을
lives at
다해왔습니다.
the center of national policy.
건전재정 기조를
Based
원칙으로
on the
삼아
principles of sound
재정
fiscal
여력을
management,
확보하는 한편
while securing
물가를 잡고
fiscal capability on one
국가
hand, we kept
신인도를
prices in check and
유지해
maintained national security.
부동산 시장이
In order to ensure that the real
정치와
estate
이념이
market
아니라
works according
경제
to the
원리에
economic
맞게
principles
작동되도록
and not
시장을
politics and
왜곡시키는
ideology,
규제를
we
철폐해서
eliminated
부동산
market-distorting regulations
시장을
to normalize the real estate market.
정상화시켰습니다.
By easing the burden of property taxes to encourage corporations to hire and invest.
특히
In particular,
보유세 부담을
by
완화하여
easing the burden of
국민
property
부담을
taxes, we
줄였습니다.
reduced the burden on the people.
반도체를 비롯한
We supported
국가
national
전략 기술에
strategic technologies,
세계
including
최고 수준의
semiconductors, with
인센티브를
world-class
지원하고
incentives,
법인세를
and
인하하여
lowered corporate taxes
기업의
to
고용과
encourage
투자
corporations
여력을
to
높였습니다.
hire and invest.
15개의
15 national
국가
high-tech
첨단
industrial
산업단지와
parks
7개의
and 7
첨단 전략
high-tech
산업
strategic
특화
industrial
단지를 지정했고
parks were designated,
글로벌
and we
스탠다드에
abolished
맞지 않는
killer regulations that do not meet global standards to foster the industry and to open up markets.
새해
The new year
2024년은
of 2024 will mark a major turning point for Korea to take another leap forward. First and foremost, as global trade recovers, the overall vitality of our economy will improve, and improved exports will drive recovery and growth. Prices will also be more stable than they are today. We are committed to ensuring that the warmth of the economic recovery will be conveyed fully to the most vulnerable in the society. The government and financial sector will work together to reduce the financial burden of small businesses and the self-employed citizens. Risks that could threaten our economy, such as real estate PF and household debt, have been well managed over the past year, and we will continue to manage them thoroughly. In the new year, we will increase the supply of housing within the city so that people do not have to leave the city in search of a new home. In particular, we will speed up the redevelopment and reconstruction projects from scratch so that the process will be sped up, and we will expand the supply of compact housing for 1 to 2-person households. We will continue to eliminate killer regulations that hinder business investment to back up economic vitality, and we will also provide full support on the advanced industry so that businesses can unleash their creativity and innovation. Economic diplomacy and sales diplomacy are examples of job diplomacy that create jobs for our people. Since taking office until now, I have met with leaders of 96 countries to conduct 151 meetings and expanded the playing field for our corporations and our citizens to realize their full potential. In the new year, we will continue to focus on job diplomacy. Last year, despite challenging internal and external conditions, we maintained our market economy principles and sound fiscal stance, fueled by the vitality of the private sector, resulting in the highest employment rate and the lowest unemployment rate in the history of statistics. The average employment rate for the young people in their late 20s, a key employment age group, was 72.3% from January to November of last year, which was the highest level ever recorded. Our efforts and achievements are also being recognized overseas. The Economist, a globally renowned economic magazine, made a comprehensive assessment of our economy and ranked it second out of 35 OECD countries. I will continue to do my best with the hope that this year's economic achievements and the warmth of the economic recovery will reach every corner of our people's lives. Since assuming office, the government has consistently worked hard to eliminate cartels, dismiss the misuse of government subsidies, break up monopolies in certain industries, and so forth to get rid of injustice and illegality. This year, we will continue to expand the freedoms of our citizens and improve the well-being, and we will create a fairer society. We will break up cartels that solely focus on self-interest and ideology. We will ensure that all citizens will enjoy fair opportunities. We cannot truly reform for our citizens without fighting against the corrupt cartels. I ask you for your support and encouragement as we continue our reform efforts this year. Honorable citizens, for the economy to grow sustainably, we need to increase our structural potential capacity. In particular,
잠재 역량이
we have
계속
to
하락하는 상황에서
see that the potential capacity continues to decline due to the declining birth rate, and amidst this, we need to increase productivity across society through structural reforms, and only then will the livelihoods be revitalized and economies be able to continue to grow. The three major structural reforms of labor, education, and pension will have to continue. First, we will support growth and job creation through labor reform. Labor reform starts with the rule of law. We need to ensure that labor movements can operate within the framework of law, and this will be guaranteed, while we will have to deal strictly with illegal activities. To respond to rapidly changing industrial demands, we have to have a labor market that is flexible. A flexible labor market will lead to increase in business investment and will create more jobs. Consequently, our workers will be able to enjoy more job opportunities and better labor environment. We have to make sure that the pay system is based on job content and performance, not seniority, and we will have to improve the dual structure of the labor market, and we will do so. Flexible work, remote working, and hybrid workings are examples of various working conditions, and we will ensure that the labor and union can make a choice on these. People are the future of competitiveness. Education reform is about fostering talented people who will lead our future and will increase the competitiveness of future generations. We will provide world-class education and care, and we will make sure that from morning to evening, students can go to these schools in a safe environment, and we will make sure that we can relieve the parents. And we will also make sure that we can reduce the burdens of the parents while also ensuring that children can have fun in schools. And we will normalize the education by establishing the school authorities, and we will also increase the competitiveness of public education. The handling of school violence will be handled by the experts and not teachers. And for universities that are pursuing innovation, we will be providing bold financial support so that we can create more talents. And we will also make sure to achieve a better pension reform. Until now, pension reform has been left untouched. I promised the citizens that I would lay the foundation for pension reform through my presidential campaign and the national agenda. And to fulfill that promise, we will conduct scientific and mathematical analysis and polls in addition to in-depth interviews. And we have even done so already, and we collected the results to the National Assembly late October of last year. Now it's up to the National Assembly to make a decision. The government will continue to actively participate in the debate process within the National Assembly so that we can do our best to build a national consensus. The reforms of labor, education, and pensions are important, and in addition to this, we have to also resolve the declining birth rate. We don't have much time left, and therefore we need to take a different approach to deep dive into the root causes of Korea's declining birth rate. We need to identify the causes of the declining birth rate and come up with effective countermeasures. Good education and care facilities, welfare, housing, and employment policies can help resolve the birth rate problems. However, it might not be the fundamental resolution, and we already know this with the 20 years worth of experiences. In addition, with regards to the low birth rate, One of
개선하는
the
것이 매우
causes
중요하다.
is the over-competition in our society, and it is really important for us to resolve this. To this end, our government's important national goal, a regionally balanced development policy, will be pursued
존경하는 국민
further.
여러분,
Honorable citizens,
정부는 출범 이후
since inauguration,
우리 외교의 중심축인
the government has continued to expand
완전히
the
복원하여
US-ROK
글로벌 포괄
alliance
동맹으로
and set it
확장시켰습니다.
as one of the global comprehensive strategic alliances. We normalized the bilateral relations with Japan that was neglected until now and resumed the diplomacy between South Korea and Japan for the first time in 12 years. And based on this, at Camp David, we had established a trilateral cooperation among US, South Korea, and Japan to promote peace and prosperity in the Korean Peninsula. And we also established the Nuclear Consultative Group in accordance with the declaration. And we established a new nuclear-based military alliance between US and Korea. Republic of Korea is committed to not a submissive peace, but a true and lasting peace based on the strengths and the goodwill of others. We are continuing to build that solidly. We will support free economic activity and a worry-free daily life. And against the North Korea's nuclear missile threats, we will continue to build an even more robust South Korean triad system. And by the first half of this year, we'll complete the enhanced US-ROK extended deterrence system to contain North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. And we will equip our military with combined combat system with and without artificial intelligence and advanced science and technology, and we will create a cyber environment for the people, and we will ensure that we can create a cyber environment where people can be rest assured from various cyber threats, including ones that are coming from North Korea. And we will make sure that we can protect every corner of the Korean society. Based on this solid foundation of security, we will also ensure a tightly knit global economic security network. And in addition to this, we will ensure that the supply chain of minerals, materials, and components directly related to core industries are secure. Since inauguration and until now, the government has spent more than $15 billion in annual defense exports. We will continue to develop the defense industry as a national strategic industry, and we will diversify our export products and destinations so that Korea can become one of the top 4 defense exporting countries by 2027. Recently, a renowned American political commentary outlet said that over the past 2 years, there was no other country in the world that has raised the international role and stature as much as Korea, in particular as a key democracy in Northeast Asia. Korea has played a key role across security, economy, and culture that is encompassing the Asia-Pacific region and the Atlantic Ocean, while also including the Northeast Asia, and that was the assessments that we received. Our government will continue to realize the vision of becoming a global pivotal nation that fulfills its responsibilities. Honorable citizens, as we welcome the new year, I reread the presidential inauguration address. I worked tirelessly to fulfill our promises to our citizens, but there's still more to be done. In the new year, I will continue to do my best with a new resolution. And first and foremost, I will go into the lives of people and listen to even the smallest of the voices. And I will also continue to promote genuine people's policies that can change and enhance the lives of our citizens.
검토만 하는 정부가 아니라
The national government is all centering on the people, and we will become a government that actually acts to solve problems.
우리 아이들을
And we will
위해
do so for our future, for our
언젠가
children.
누군가 해야 한다면
So if somebody has to do it someday, then it should be done by myself now.
새해에는 국민 여러분
The
모두
government and I will continue to do our utmost so that in the
저와
new year,
정부도
all citizens will be able to fulfill their wishes.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
This wraps up President Yoon Suk-yeol's New Year's address. We'll come back at 12 p.m. for the latest news stories.
The new year 2024 has begun, and something very important is set to take place in South Korea. It's becoming Asia's first ever multicultural and multiracial nation. I met many foreign tourists last year, but having a high number of foreign